Free your mind now. Be part of People's Pan-African Parliament, the Pan-African Pyramid Debate with your speaker, Andrew Irumba Katusabe.
Andrew Irumba Katusabe, your speaker. This is the Pan-African Pyramid Show. And I am privileged to be amid these two gentlemen, my senior elders in the Pan-Africanism. Number one is Dr. Waka Waka from US, America, and Canada. Dr. Waka Waka is actually the president of the Pan-Africanism agro-business. And this is an international business. And he is also a very great Pan-African. And yesterday, he was among the 19 carefully chosen recipients of 2024 Pan-African Global Awards. I'm glad to meet you, my brother, my elder.
My brother.
Yeah, you're going to teach me some is it Jamaica or what type of English is this one?
Oh man, that's African English. I don't care. I don't even know what to say, man, because tell you the truth, I wish I don't even speak English. I wanted to speak more Swahili because it's one of the most spoken language in Africa, or some Zulu. I want to speak the language of my ancestor, my brother.
Some Rutoro.
You know what I'm saying? Because for me, speaking English, like even talking to you right now in English, how come we black? Our ancestors are from Africa, all of us here. Whether we're from Canada, America, Cuba, it doesn't matter. Our ancestors. Why none of us speak the language of our ancestor? And right. I'm a university professor, and I'm telling you right now in front of you, it is not right. We try to speak the language of the oppressor of our ancestor more than the language of our ancestor. And right, my brother, my student in America know I'm very vocal about that. Some of my friends, do you understand what I'm saying? Because me, I was privileged at least to travel around the world. I speak French, English, Spanish, Portuguese. Again, I speak most of the language of the oppressor. But I don't speak the language of my ancestor. Some of the language I learned from my mama, like some Bamileki and so forth, like, you know, but we don't practice, you understand? Why? Because most of the black around me speak English or French.
You have no choice but to speak your colonizers' languages.
I have no choice, but maybe I have a choice. Maybe I have a choice because I don't like the word like I don't have no choice. Because God gave us a choice. That's why I took that choice to come back to the motherland, the land of my ancestor, to try to be involved, to speak another language, which is the language of love. Love. Because that was the main language of my ancestors. Love.
One love.
That's why we're here. We do agribusiness.
One language.
Which is food, because our ancestors were feeding the whole world. That is a fact, because even you learn it in English, French, Chinese, doesn't matter. We know that the whole world was starving and our ancestors fed them, Joseph in the Bible. Because whether the European, the Chinese, whatever, they all learn, they all read the Bible and they know. It's documented that the whole world was starving and our ancestors were so loving that they fed them through Joseph, one of the child of Africa. That's why I came back from Canada and the US to continue that legacy of feeding the world. That's the language of Africa.
Fantastic. That's an elaborate, introduction. Bishop Maponga, how do you like that? Bishop Maponga is from Zimbabwe. He's my senior elder. He's actually my mentor. I've been following him even before I met him on social media. I'm sure Maponga's words are more popular than himself. His words have reached where he has not reached. By the time he reached Uganda, everyone was saying, Maponga, Maponga, Maponga at the airport. Maponga, hey man. So he was even the one introducing me. Do you know this? This is my brother. Welcome again.
The world of the spirit is not managed by physical presence. We are all right now, all of us, 8 billion on the face of the earth right now. We are all breathing, all of us, taking the air in and taking it out. And if we could hear that heartbeat which unites all of us together, maybe there's no need for fighting, because there's enough air for everybody.
There's enough food.
There's enough food for everybody. So the language of
there's enough land.
The language of the spirit, when all of us will sleep at night and we visit our world of dreams, we all go there. So the information that I have, I cannot claim monopoly over it, because it is the the spiritual world that breathes through all of us. And those who stop to listen will be able to get the same message. So yes, it has become universal because no one has ever held the wind in their hands, but we all experience its movement.
Just feel it.
So we are right now at a time where Africa is beginning to breathe together, to think together, finding the rhythm of the revolution so that we can transform our history.
Very good. Bishop Maponga, we launched a new theme, Uniting Africa by Force Now. There is a hidden message in that. Why? The first African country to gain its independence was Egypt, 1922. This is about 102 years now. The reason why they were seeking to be independent was that they are able to do things on their own. But guess what? 102 years later, somebody else is still thinking for us. So, in your own words, how do we move? Okay, we have made the statement. Now, how do we actualize the movement and the message?
There was a ship that left the docking station to get into the sea. And it went in for very long distance. Then the people discovered that the ship was going in the wrong direction. And they had a few choices, which I want you to listen very carefully.
I am listening.
Because your answer will be in there.
My ears are very much open.
So the first option they thought was, let's tell everyone to jump out of the ship.
And you drop into the waters.
And let's swim for the 600 kilometers. Let's swim back. Maybe a few of them would make it, but all of them would be fed to the sharks. Some would drown, some would get tired. But honestly speaking, very few, if ever any, will make it the other side.
600 kilometers swimming, you cannot.
And the ship is right there.
And there are crocodiles there.
So I want you to think about your churches, I want you to think about your politics and your governments. 400 years later, we've moved to where we are. You said in your statement, we must stop agonizing and start organizing. And I think that statement is pregnant. So second option, let's go and kill the captain.
Oh, we kill the captain of the ship who was taking us in the wrong direction.
But no one in the ship here knows how to
shoot the gun.
No, how to sail.
Oh, after killing the captain. Now, you're in the middle of the ocean.
Another problem. Where you are now free from his decisions, but you are stuck in his vehicle. How do you, in his vessel, how do you proceed? Everyone is shouting, yeah, the leader is dead. Yeah, we are happy. After celebrating, okay, fine. Now, let's move. And you find that you've created a problem that is bigger than your problem. Solution number 3, then we say, no, let's get some of us to go and sit with the captain secretly, and let's master how to operate this thing before we kill him. You understand the strategy?
Isn't that what the Americans do?
Yeah. I'm giving you, this is, I'm getting old now, so you need to hear the wisdom in the small illustration. Let's plan, let's study. Then some few boys go there and they help him. And so what is this for? What is this for? And people master how to read the compass, how to sway the thing, how to put the cockpit, how to run the steam engines, and what. And at the right time, when you now know, when the boys, then you call your boys aside and ask them, are you sure? You can drive these things. I think we're okay. Then you can do what you want with the leader. I like the now part, by force, where I'm addressing just that concept of force. Now you can apply force when there is knowledge. Option number 4. The people in the ship agreed. This ship is going in the wrong direction. They chose the best amongst them. They went to the captain and said, Captain, we are able to kill you. We are able to take over the ship. This is our ship. It's our destiny. It's our future. How about we talk to each other nicely? can you show us where you are going? And we will show you where we are going. Can you find us, why are we going this route? Why not that route? And then negotiate. The captain says, no, actually, I was going here because there is a storm and I was trying to avoid it. Or actually I was lost also. Sorry guys, I didn't notice it. Now in the 4 illustrations I gave you, you as Africans, we as Africans, we need to decide.
Which one?
If we say we're uniting Africa by force, are we jumping out of the colonial ship to swim back to the 1600s where we survived? We no longer know where the herbs are. We no longer know how to give birth to our own children. Some of this science is still there, but in many of our places, some will make it. Some communities, like the community in Congo, those will make it. Those are already ready in the what do you call them?
Kimbangis.
The Kimbangis. Yeah. We will make it.
They've been doing that for hundreds.
And the traditional families like in Swaziland, in the Himba people, the Maasai, those will make it. They don't even know where the government is. Yes, the government is actually a nuisance. Yeah. They will make it. That's group number 1. Group number 2, let's go and kill. No problem. Butcher the guy. Then we'll be stuck here with the government and start calling for help again, for people to come and rescue us. Yeah. Group number 3, good strategy. Let's study the system, master it, understand it, make money out of it, educate ourselves. Because we'll still bank, we'll still do internet. We need people, different quality of politicians and young people who can understudy the system that is oppressing us so that we can transform it. But between now and then, I suggest option number 2 and option number 3 and number 4. Number 4 is that we elect these leaders into power. We must never be afraid of them, to walk up to them and ask the leader, where are you taking us to? Don't tell us stories. You just walk up to your president as a people and say, Mwalim, where are we going 5, 10 years from now? Can we see your blueprint? And then hold your leaders accountable to the vision and the dream that they're driving it towards. And I think with those words, you can understand. Take it by force. But you need intellectual force, you need capital force, you need financial force, you need food force, you need academic force, you need health force. You need to understand in which direction are you going to take over this government and particularly drive Africa towards the direction that you want it to go to.
Very good. Dr. Waka.
That's full of wisdom. This is why I love my brother, man. He's one of the wisest men I have met on the continent. Tell you the truth, his speech yesterday, I was like, yes. That's why I say you have to meet Papa Simon Kimbangu. I sat in Congo, in the middle of the jungle of Congo, in a place called Kamba, New Jerusalem. I was fascinated by it.
Wait a minute, there is a New Jerusalem in Congo, not the Jerusalem we know.
No, that's the New Jerusalem of the world. Not just, it's based in Congo, but actually, that thing been there 1,000 years. Do you know that Belgium, you know Belgium, right, in Europe?
Yeah, Belgium.
They built I would say, an army surrounding all that village for 200 years. Do you know that? Why would they build an army down in the middle of nowhere in Africa? They knew the prophecy.
Belgium,
yeah. Yeah. In that place called Kamba, 200 years ago, they arrested the first prophet of that place, Papa Simon Kimbangu, 120 years. That was the longest political leader in Africa who stayed in jail. He stayed more than 30-something years, more than Nelson Mandela. But the media never spoke about him. Why? Why?
Because the Whitman didn't want him to be known.
But he was down there. He's the only one who unified, like Patrice Lumumba that we knew in America in the history book. They study under him. He's the one who started talking about Pan-African at the same time Marcus Garvey was already talking about it from Jamaica. Papa Simon Kimbangu was already talking about that. The Belgium captured him, chained him. They couldn't kill him. They tried to shoot him many times. He didn't die. That's what they call him, the Black Jesus. Yes, it's documented. Go online, Google. I never knew of that until in South Africa. They say, Dr. Waka, you're a real Pan-African. You feed the people of Africa all the time with real food. You have to meet the Black Prophet. I'm like, oh, Marcus Garvey is there now. He said, no, come. They took me to Congo in the middle of nowhere. I saw a whole city called New Jerusalem. I heard that the ambassador of so many countries were there. Ambassador of Israel, blah, all in that village. And then I saw a fortress built by Belgium 200 years ago in that same place. That's why I learned about King Pavita, who was burned alive by the Portuguese in the 1500s. King Pavita, who was already talking like the Bible is wrong. Can you imagine that in the 1500s, there were a lady in Africa called King Pavita. At that time, they were not yet Congo, Gabon, Nigeria. All those countries were not existing. It was Africa. That lady was down there in the southern part called Angola. At that time, it wasn't Angola. It was called the Congo Empire. She was prophesying that those missionaries coming here are liars. Can you imagine she got arrested by the Catholic? She was burned alive with a baby. She was burned, but she was alive. It's well documented. Go on Google, type Kim Pavita. A baby. The baby was burning and then a pigeon flew out of her and went north. And the prophecy say, where that pigeon will land, a prophet going to be born. And then the European, through the trick, the magical stuff, just like in the Bible talk about the Magi following the star. The European followed that pigeon and they discovered that that area is called Kamba. That's where that pigeon landed. That's why they built a fortress over there. It's well documented. And you go there, you're going to see that fortress. And close to that village was one of the biggest Catholic churches. I'm talking in the middle of nowhere in Africa. The biggest Catholic churches is built in that area to control that same area. And that's exactly where Papa Simon Kimbangu was born. Man, I ain't going to go too much in those details. Just to tell you that Africa got everything. Just to tell you that as my brother, the wise man spoke. Bishop Joshua, too much wisdom we need to know. We need to understand our history. When you understand your history and your culture, you're going to know where you're going. You understand what I'm saying? The problem is this. How come we never knew about, how come I don't even know about Bishop? I only met Bishop now. Somebody who is talking.
Thanks to your brother.
Exactly. Thanks to the Pan-Africanism movement, Global Award, yeah. I was able to meet a great leader, not just a leader, teacher.
Just imagine two brains if they had met 50 years ago. These two brains.
Can you imagine that?
But now, for you to move from where you are to his place, you need a visa, you need a passport.
Oh, that's another issue.
Now you see.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
So, do you know what Africa has lost? Because you have not met with him and me.
Exactly. Brother, just to move from Canada to America, example, from there, I just drive my car, And look, I'm a black man. I'm in North America, I can drive all across. How come I come in the land of my ancestor, the land of my mama, the land of my... How come I can't drive across Africa the same way I drive across North America? Why? I'm in South Africa. To come to Zimbabwe, I need a visa. I'm talking like just from here, just 1 kilometer, just a river. I was in Limpopo. We're trying to build a lot of projects in Limpopo. They told me right there is Zimbabwe, but to go down, I need a visa.
He's from Zimbabwe. He's your brother.
How am I going to meet my brother? My brother from the same... Hey, man, it's crazy. My passport is full. I already have 5 passports. Full. Not because they expire. Because visa. Because I started doing research. I started doing research across Africa. I had to go to 23 countries to collect data and analyze. I'm a professor. I collect data, analyze to make up decisions. But all the time I need a visa, my brother. It's not normal. How come an African coming back to his motherland need a visa to navigate in the land of his ancestors? While my grandparents used to walk from Egypt all the way to South Africa freely. Move his goat, his sheep, but now I need a visa, man. His grandchildren need a visa. Jesus will walk all across Africa until the Roman Empire come and say you can't walk across Africa anymore. And we keep continuing the same stuff that the Roman Empire put on us. Hey, come on, y'all. Something need to be done, man. Come on, man. But the brother mentioned the point, the third point. He mentioned that. Are we just going to go by force? Like, you know, the question you were asking was too much. Hey, my brother got wisdom, man. I love what he said. But again, I'm going to bring the element of love in what he said. I'm a fighter, but I'm a fighter of love. Because my ancestors said, son, it doesn't matter. Those guys who came, those evil people who came, I don't know, from Europe, wherever, to do what they have done, Because they didn't know love. If they knew love, they would have not done what they have done.
Yeah. Sure.
You understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
Are we going to respond like them? Are we going to go and fight them? Are we going to go and kill the captain? No, we're more smarter than them, man. We're more smarter than them. Come on, man.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? We ain't going to go and kill them. Because actually, they make you think that they know where they're going. That's what they make you think in the book, but they don't know where they're going. Satan never knew where he's going. Satan is lost, brother. We are not lost. Papa Simon Kimbangu said, son, I sat with him. He even gave me a land. He said, son, that's your land.
You have land in Congo?
Yeah, he gave me a land, my brother. He said,
Hey.
you a promised child of Africa. He gave me a land, everything.
When was that?
I brought a truck over there. That was last year.
He gave you land last
I
year?
got a land, I got a house, I got everything. He gave it to me. He said, son, you're a son of a prophecy.
You've already built in Congo?
Ah, man, brother, I planted already 3,000 head of pineapple. I'm putting 20,000. I got people over
He
there
just
working.
gave you land free. Go.
Free, my brother. He
You're a
said,
son of
the
the
land of
land.
your ancestor.
Please.
You guys have the prophecy that was spoke 100 and 2,000 years. You're going to come back with knowledge. And you, not you, an army of you are coming back. That's the army of God. Because you guys are full of love. You guys are going to feed the whole world. Don't do the same mistake that they have done. They think that they know where they're going, as my brother. They actually, that captain don't know. They think they don't know. They're going to hell, my brother. We are son of the Most High. I believe that.
Most High Jah.
Yes. We know where we're going. Do you understand what I'm saying?
They know where they're going.
Just like Joseph did. They put Joseph in jail. Right? They did all kind of stuff to Joseph. But what Joseph did, he fed the whole world again. They're going to come back. We're going to feed them again. We have to teach them the way. They think they know the way. They don't know the way. Do you understand? Love is the way. And everybody, why everybody now want to come to motherland? The Chinese want to come, the Japanese want to come, every nationality, because they know what is in here. Papa Simon says, son, they know. They think they have scratched. No, they think they have took all the gold and mineral of Africa. Papa Simon says, son, they haven't scratched the surface. He said, God, let's open your
Whatever
eyes.
they have stolen so far, they think they've stolen a lot.
Exactly. They haven't even scratched the surface.
I like what Waka Waka is raising. The danger of violence. It's a short-term solution to a long-term problem. Because we've gone through so much pain. The pain has made us to lose ourselves. And if we are not careful, in the midst of our seeking for revenge, we will become like them.
Yes.
I hope you can process that. You have a murderer here who does murder,
Kills people
and then you want to revenge.
by killing.
Then you kill his children, you kill his wife. You want to do exactly what he has done. At the end of the day, what is the difference between the murderer who started and the murderer who followed? So somewhere, I'm not saying that we should stay away from war altogether, but in the midst of seeking for justice, I think mercy is stronger. And if we don't process our anger, there will be no difference between the two murderers. My grandfather said to me as a young man, son, when one day you become a king, remember this. There's no king who satisfies his hunger by drinking the blood of fools. Then he says to me, the witches are yours, the murderers are yours, the thieves are yours. You are the leader of all of them. The question is, how do you seek to create an environment where all of them can live together? But just to respond on the colonial issue, we need to fight to get back what belongs to us. But let us also practice restraint so that at the end of our struggle, we don't end up with the same guilt and evil-heartedness which the white man is actually trying to make us to become, because that's what he is. But I need to tell all Africans, we are not like them. And I want that to sound very clear. We are not like them. We are made of much better quality material, intellectually, emotionally, socially and culturally, environmentally. we are a better quality product. I know some white people might not want to hear this, but every black child needs to know. And I'm not even promoting superiority. We can't even compare ourselves. Because when you look at the
speaking facts.
When you look at the black skin,
Melanin.
this is able to absorb not only light. This is able to absorb information
Hey, this one.
from the sun, from the environment.
The
But
sun,
when the white
you
man,
mean the sun speaks?
when the white men moved into the Caucasus Mountains, or where they lived there, they lost the melanin. Their skin became white, pink. Now when the sun is talking to them, it gives them cancer. They cannot even capture information from the universe, which we have. So if you can go and do your research also, we are 9s, they are 6s in terms of our DNAs. We actually have a superior DNA, a DNA gene, than they do. This is information that is in your research, in your schools. So the black man is actually not even superior. He is the human being. That's why we say in our African language, Bantu, because we are come from Muntu, from Tu, and the Europeans are not Bantu. And Bantu means we're human beings. We have empathy, we have love. That's Ubuntu. When you say Ubuntu means I am because we are.
Humanity.
A white man does not know that. So when a white man does what he does,
You understand them?
no, he does not even have it.
No, I'm saying when they do what they do.
When
you
a white
understand
man
their
comes to
problem.
a village and finds people living nicely, no, cut the trees. No, dig there, put the water into the river. By the time we think we have been developed into what we call civilization, I wonder. I lived in the US, I lived in Europe, I lived in Britain, I've lived in Johannesburg. And sometimes I sit back and wonder, are we saying that development is progressive when the environment is retrogressing? At the end of the day, when we have Brooklyn and London and the Thames River is so poisonous that even a dog can't drink from there, are we saying that we want to develop the world to look like London? And by the time we're in London, what quality of air are we going to be breathing in London? What quality of food are we going to be eating in London? So we need to look at this concept of development and environmental intelligence, your new word for today. Development must be very sensitive to environmental intelligence, because there's no development that would then reduce the quality of the environment. Then you are going to spend all your money again to fix the problems that you've created with development. So we need strategic thinking.
That's why, again, he brought another topic that's very serious. He talk about food. And when you talk about food, now you're talking about the JJK Pan-Africanism agribusiness. Because he mentioned something. What quality of food do they have in London? He was down there. What quality of food do we have in America? What quality of food do we have in China? I live in China. I live in China, you know. I live in all those countries.
You have land there.
Yes, I have land. We have house in China. I live there. What kind of food do we eat? This is why we created the Pan-Africanism agribusiness to deal with food. How can we unify again mankind, people who believe in humanity, who believe in love through food? Because food, bro, I don't need to explain too much to you. You have water in front of you. We just came back from eating over there. Without food, without air and water, you dead. He talk about environment. What are we doing with that? They destroy out of what they call progress, out they call whatever they call it. Man, I'm a professor, it's bullshit, man. I see people here in America, in Africa. They beg me, Dr. Waka, we want to go to America. I said, okay. For the past 8, 9, 10 years, we brought students down there to study in our university. What have they achieved? Few of them build back stuff in Africa. But they down there again in America. They were begging to go to America. What have they become? Fat, overweight, cancer. When I met them here in Africa, bro, they were slim, good looking. They all down there, all obese. This problem I'm raising, that Brother Bishop started, it's not, I'm not talking on a black person, point of view. And again, you guys know me. When it comes to blackness, whiteness, blah, blah, I don't really care. because I look at this as an envelope. As God put me into this envelope, He could have put me into any envelope. You will have still be me, Waka Waka. What God gonna judge is not this envelope, it's the content. Do you understand what I'm saying? The content. Then I don't want nobody to hide behind this envelope to say no. Whether you Muslim, whether you Jew, whether you black, I don't care your race, your national ethnicity, you need water to drink. This is what we're talking about, agribusiness of God. We're talking about how can we get back into our humanity? How can we get back into eating good food? This transcends race, this transcends religion. The only place right now in the world where we can have good food is Africa, just like back then.
Within the food industry, we need to capture. And I'm just sorry for cutting you in there. Just so that it's we need to say, was young people, some of them now believe that food is found in shops.
Yeah.
Food is KFCs.
Yeah.
Food is retail shops.
Yeah.
And they forget that food is soil. And if food is soil, once you talk about food, you can't talk about food without talking about land. You can't talk about food and not talk about seeds. You can't talk about food and not talk about GMOs. You can't talk about food and not talk about health. You can't talk about food and not talk about life. So the land on its own, food on its own, we need actually to break it down and discuss the politics of food.
You mean there is politics in food?
Of course.
I thought politics is politics.
Brother, listen, this is why again, when you guys gave me this award.
Politics is different from food, man.
No, brother, listen to me. Those, brother, I study agribusiness. That's my field, brother. I work in government and so forth, as you know. The new technique of the demon, those same demons that enslave the people of Africa, now they want to enslave the whole world. Like when you look at the Pan-Africanism agribusiness, you're going to think it's only African, brother. Actually, half are our brother from the vanilla envelope. Half of them. Because they are fed up of dying of cancer. And who control that food? Control the politics in Washington, D.C. We're talking about those big corporations. Talking about the GMO, all those nonsense. This is why, again, the Pan-Africanism agribusiness cooperative is not just about, let's go to, no. We lobby. We will lobby in Washington, D.C. We lobby in Angola. We lobby around the world to make sure that certain type of food cannot be introduced here in Africa. Come on, man. We don't want some seed over here. Come on, let's keep Monsanto wherever they are. Why do we need to accept Monsanto
But you know what Monsanto is doing in Africa? Monsanto is
Tell
collaborating
me.
with the government. Monsanto.
Yeah.
Even here in Uganda, where you are seated here, he's collaborating with the African government. They are forcing our parents to plant GMO foods against our organic products.
Why do we need it here in Africa? Where we have 60% of the most fertile land of the world. 60%. Why do we need that? No, let's be honest. Why do we need them in Africa? We have so much land. Like, man, just Africa. I don't even know what to tell you, brother.
The strategy is simple.
Come on, man.
If you plant GMO foods, it means that every season
You have to go back and buy.
you have to go and buy them. And every season you have to buy pesticides.
Yep, from them.
And the food that you are eating, you need to ask yourself the question. And I saw this Chinese woman the other day. She said something very powerful. When you eat your food, make sure that you eat food which gets rotten.
Yep.
If it is food and you leave it here,
It must rot.
it must rot because it's alive, it's dying. But these apples that sit in the shop for 6 weeks, 7 weeks, these chickens that you put in your fridge and they can be there for 2 months, 3 months, still looking fresh, that's not food. And at the end of the day, without saying lots of conspiracies, and sometimes it's funny that there's so much information around these days, ignorance is a choice. There are new technologies which they've already shown us in agriculture, where you can isolate certain DNAs to target certain racial groups and etc. So issues of importance. It was proved in another research, which you can also research on, that lots of the chemicals and pesticides were going in a certain dam nearby. And the people, when they did the research, they found that most of the frogs there had become homosexual.
Frogs? Which lake is that?
No, go and look for the research for yourself. It's conspiracy. Let me say some conspiracy. Go and look.
Okay, which country?
Go and look for the impact.
Where is that?
Go and look for the impact of pesticides on frogs. Just say research. Then find it for yourself. It would be nice also to do a program for yourself. And you find that. Then you find that actually they were becoming homosexual. So
Frogs?
Frogs. Now when you look at human beings eating the same pesticides in our food, if these things are able to affect frogs, maybe you can ask the next question, which I don't have to ask. If frogs are being affected like this, is it possible that part of our human problems we're now facing on the homosexual and all these LGBTQs is actually a result of food?
Of that.
Controlled food, which causes cancer, which causes impotence, male sexual health problems, which causes fibroids, which causes infertility in women, which actually benumbs the brain. Things like Colgate, fluoride, its impact on the human child brain. You brush your teeth every day. It's poison that you're swallowing every day, those fluorides. They put a whole layer on your thinking capacity and stuff like that. The thing is that most of our young people are on the internet twerking.
Just playing.
Twerking.
Nonsense.
Whereas information is available out there.
So what should I use to brush my tooth, man?
What did your grandfather use?
Exactly.
Charcoal. Black charcoal.
Your teeth will even be whiter.
Make sure that we keep continuing on the food stuff, because food is life. You need to eat, you need to drink. Do you understand? I don't know why the pastor in Africa actually don't talk about those things. I'm sorry, a lot of pastors don't like me in Africa because I told them, look, for me, it's already a shame to see a pastor with a big stomach. Why? Why do you need to have a big stomach while you have so many people starving in your church? Do you understand? When we introduce agribusiness of God here in Africa, I'm talking about the past 17 years, we start training pastors like, hey, look, what was Jesus doing? If you guys read the Bible, you know, I don't want to get too much in the Bible topic, but you guys read that Bible, Jesus was always feeding the needy. Why you guys, pastors, don't feed the needy? They don't like to talk about that. They always like,
right now,
come and feed them.
Right now, they need the feeding.
I'm still gonna stick on the food because that's what brought me to Uganda. That's why you gave me this award, right? Pan-Africanism of agribusiness. That's why I got this award. Food. Why the pastor don't talk about food? I only met one great man talking about food, talking about the effect of food on us as humans. Why they want to control the food business in the world. We created the agribusiness of God to go against the agribusiness of Satan. I know it's new for many people listening to me. I studied this. I got my PhD. That's my area. Agribusiness. I grew up in a farm. There's agribusiness of Satan for real. Because Satan mimic God. He's steal from God. Joseph saved the world. With what? The Bible is clear. With food, right? Food. When Jesus came, what was his first miracle? What was the first miracle of Jesus?
Bread, and he fed 500 people.
No, even before that, he turned water into wine. That was his first miracle. He didn't make sure that he didn't ask, hey guys, go and get the diamond over there in Congo. No, it wasn't diamond, it wasn't gold, it was food. Do you understand? And what was Jesus doing? Feeding the needy. Jesus was looking just like my brother, slim, good looking. He wasn't. Brother, I'm sorry, maybe I'm wrong. Was Jesus was having a big stomach? Was Jesus fat?
The pictures they showed, I don't think they look like Ruben.
Why are you looking at my stomach?
No, why? Because he was...
I'm challenging you to work on it. You know?
Why? Jesus was always sharing.
Bishop, last time when you came here, you didn't see this stomach.
No, we ain't talking about...
Because I've been 2 months of organizing this event. I've not been going to the gym. But I promise you,
let's
come back.
It's all right, brother. It's all right. Jesus was always feeding the needy. That's why
he was
always walking and feeding the needy. Why the pastor today, brother? Why the pastor today are not feeding the needy?
The needy are feeding them.
I look at all those pastors across the room. I'm like, what the heck? What's going on? And I start telling them, hey, let's go to a farm. I'm a farmer. I'm going to teach you how to farm so you can feed the congregation. They look at me like, get the hell out of here, nigga. They kick me out, brother. I'm telling you. I said, man, why you look my hand are bigger?
They are gathering is in the church inside.
Bro, they kick me out because I start telling them, look, I'm going to teach you how to plant, how to grow food, organic, and we're going to collect it and feed the needy. Man, they kick me out. They say, get out of here, go back to your America. This is Africa. I'm telling you. But I say, you know what, I'm going to come back. And then I went and get more soldiers like me. We started going to Angola and those countries. We start training people how to. For me, the church system is completely wrong. First of all, we need to address food issue because, now I'm talking as a scientific, they are already controlling the food industry. How come the food industry now in America belongs to a pharmaceutical company? Why? Nobody's asking that question. Nobody's talking about it in church. They always, hallelujah, oh, miracle gonna come. You're gonna have a lot of, what the heck? All KFC stuff. I see a lot of pastors every day going to KFC, collect money from the poor farmer and go to KFC. They don't even know what is going on with KFC. Brother, the food industry is controlled by pharmaceutical, is controlled by few companies.
Since you're from Canada, I would want you to confirm this because I said it once and I did not have confirmation. That this body, international body, which governs food, FDA. Yeah, FDA.
What is that? Food and
Drug Administration.
Food and Drug Administration.
It's based where?
It's in Canada. But
No.
the head office is in Canada.
Yeah,
So here is the issue. When you open up a franchise of, say, McDonald's or
KFC.
Nando's or KFC, anywhere in the world, the food must be certified
Stamp. Yeah, certified
by
them.
FDA. Now follow me very carefully.
Yes.
This is where it gets very interesting.
Yes.
So the KFC in Uganda cannot buy chickens from Uganda because the chickens in Uganda have not been certified.
By FDA.
But the chickens in Argentina and in Brazil that have been certified by FDA
They come here.
are shipped into Uganda, while local businesses cannot supply their local market. Now you want to find out how are they feeding those chickens in Argentina? They're feeding them with GMOs.
exactly.
And then they ship them across. How many weeks does it take those containers to get here? By the time you are saying you're buying your KFC or you're buying your, how long, when was this thing killed, when is it, are you still eating food? So imagine the amount of preservatives they have to pump into these foods while they're shipping them across.
By the time it comes from Argentina to here.
To the, not here first, it goes to Mombasa first.
Yes.
Then from Mombasa by road or by rail, the tankers
Comes
and containers are here.
Then they roast
emptied.
KFC here.
No, they put in the storeroom.
Yeah,
Then from the storeroom to, and then finally it's on a table. So I want maybe just common sense. Just do a quick survey and find out how long
That's that chicken.
is this still fresh chicken that you are eating. So when you have these
chemicals.
multinational companies
Controlled by the same people.
that lie that they are bringing development, they're bringing investment, they're bringing world-class restaurants to our places, their master is not a local body, it's an international body that makes sure that through the back door, junk foods,
Yes.
which give the American children high blood pressure and obesity, are being eaten by local children, so that the pharmaceutical company
Can work.
can now come back
Yes.
and treat you of high blood pressure,
Yes.
which you bought
And cancer.
in the fast foods.
Exactly. This is what
I don't
is
know,
going
man.
on.
I don't know if this is
Actually,
making
he
sense
already
to you,
brought
man.
that out.
No, Bishop Maponga, that is far-fetched, I think.
Give my brother, he can confirm
I'm not understanding.
he can
Bring it,
confirm the
bring it
FDI
here.
there.
Bring it here. I'm glad. You know what? Hey,
Industry is now
guys,
being controlled by the
listen to
drug
me.
industry.
Listen, I'm so glad that we have a pastor in Africa who understands that and who is talking. We need to have more of those shows. Because all the other thing that you're talking about for me is nonsense. Unless you talk about food, now you start making sense for me. Because they're killing you slowly. Again, think about what I say. How Joseph saved the world. He didn't save the world with oil, with petroleum, with none of that. It's food, right? Right? How Satan won't control the world also. Same food. Food, agribusiness of God is all about making sure that people understand that through food can control even your spirit. Do you know that? Do you know that?
No,
What comes into your body?
it's going to the soul.
Everywhere, my brother. That's why you talk about fluoride. You get into your mouth, toothpaste, all those. It's designed, engineered to control you. That's why we have a generation now of children acting like chicken head. I'm just telling you. You understand what I'm saying? Or zombie. I'm telling you, look, you go and look at the kid on the street of Uganda. Look at what they're doing. Show me a kid, they're doing something that makes sense. We just passed by. What were those kids doing? Music, dancing, acting like chicken head. That's all they do. Why? The food, brother. We need to take control over our food. This is what agribusiness of God is all about. It has nothing to do only with Africa, that. It's a global movement. We have a lot of Chinese, Japanese all involved into that because the move of Satan, of the Satanists, is control the food. Now they have a lot of the, I would say, how would I call that? The prophet or the disciple within churches. They're talking about Jesus and the same Jesus, my brother. They're talking about another Jesus. Do you understand? To control you. They promote all those nonsense. They promote those big corporations here in Africa because they receive money from them. Vaccine, that's another thing.
Oh, you have. When you talk about vaccine, you remind me of.
I don't care. I can talk about food without talking about that, my brother.
You remind me about COVID.
We can talk about pharmaceutical, agribusiness cover pharmaceutical, brother. I told you I was sick. I told you about that story, right? Just a little thing like that they gave me down there between Congo and Angola healed me. A little thing from Africa, a little herb. A thing that in America they say, we don't have a medication for you, son. My voice was gone. Just a tiny thing like that from the earth of Africa, I was healed. Africa got everything.
Actually, to make it easier,
It's agribusiness of God.
to make it easier for you, my prof, let me make it as a statement that the real vaccine is food.
You got it?
The real vaccine.
Come from the bishop, a real bishop, not a fake bishop. Come on, bring it, brother. Hey guys, there's too much fake bishop across Africa, bro. They get fed over the people, man. I'm an agribusiness worker. I don't care because I produce my own food. Y'all know me. I don't depend on nobody. I'm a farmer. I make my own food. That's why I can say anything I want, whether it's in America, all around the world. We agribusiness of God. There's good bishop in Africa and fake bishop. You understand? Now you have a real one over here. We tell you the truth over your face. Real stuff. Talk, bishop. I love you, man. Tell them the thing, man. At least you know what's going on across the land.
Because if you eat properly, health is not seeking medication. Health is living healthily. You need to eat, drink healthy food. Then you don't have to talk about sicknesses.
Exactly.
Because your body is already able to deal with diseases. So this whole medicine-based health system is not correct.
It's
the
not.
correct
It's wrong.
Dr. Selby's method and other forefathers who have come, the correct method of health is on your table.
Yes.
The medicine.
When
The medicine is
my
on the
grandmother, when I was young,
Real food.
she would walk up in the veld in the day, and while she's walking there, she would pick up some shrubs and then put them on in her dress there, and then tie it up nicely. And when she's cooking, then put put those little things that we were eating, just food. We don't know that grandmama was already
medicine.
fixing our stomachs, fixing our skin.
Everything.
You know, so the kitchen was a pharmacy. So when a woman goes to the kitchen, hence it's even dangerous now that we get young girls to get married who have grown up on the streets. Because when they grow up on the streets with pizzas and fast foods, they are going to produce children who will be eating pizzas and fast foods. And the perpetuation of poor health becomes inherent.
Yes.
We need to start saying, before you can get married, do you know how to plant, harvest, cook, food?
He brought. That's why we're building. This is why we're building the Pan-Africanism school of agribusiness across the continent. Where kids, actually, we aren't targeting the adult. We're targeting the kid. What Bishop mentioned, they're gonna learn all these. The thing we used to learn when we were kids. We all knew how to plant. We all knew how to do all those kind of chores, bro. We knew how to raise chicken, our own goat, our own stuff. We knew that. How come kids today don't even know how a chicken look like besides just watching it on TV? This is why we're building those schools. Send your kid to our school. Whether you're in Canada, the USA, wherever you are across Africa, send your kid gonna learn how to make his own candy. Not those fake candy coming from, I don't know, India or China, whatever. Organic candy. We teach them how to do that. Your kid gonna be an entrepreneur where he's not gonna depend on a job. We teach kids how to create their own product. Create their own product.
What's this, my brother?
That's a bracelet.
This is a bracelet?
Yeah, that's a bracelet.
Oh.
It's easy to make. Come on, man. Easy to make.
Yeah, you make it yourself?
Oh, yeah, we have kids doing. Actually, we have a lot of people doing that here in Africa. Why kids today can do those things? Why you have to import those kind of material?
Let me see.
See?
Do you understand? We teach kid in your kid gonna come to our school, learn how to be an entrepreneur, and take care of the family business. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand, man. I understand what I'm saying.
Kids need to know about good food, how to eat healthier. This is what we need to teach to our kids, guys. Not those pizza, KFC. We talk about real chicken. Organic.
How do we open this, man? I failed, man.
Bro, let's talk about food first. That's the most important thing than Jesus. You don't eat that, but you need food to eat. Let's train our kids the right way, like Bishop said. We need to bring those kids first to a school where they learn how to cook.
And if we should,
how to grow their own food.
Yeah.
and if we should be more serious, on a more serious note, how educated can you be, and yet you can't feed yourself?
Exactly.
I mean, what's the use of going to school only to end up starving?
What's that education?
If you can't even plant yam, banana from your own house, and you have a PhD. So what are you PhDing in? What are PhD in what? Because you're going to be eating 3 times a day. So I think one of the very first subjects that we need to keep alive in all our schools is agriculture. Yes. And not agriculture as of planting of food, but the culture.
Agriculture.
The culture of food.
The culture of food.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's not agriculture as a subject. We need to understand
the culture of
culture.
Agriculture.
So and it is that
the culture of food.
And preparation,
not just studying.
Planting of the food, the harvesting of the food, the preservation of the food, the management of the food, the business of the food, the culture itself.
A holistic approach. Where we bring in a scientific
what did he say, man?
A holistic approach. Where we bring all the segments that he mentioned. And the kid need to know that. That's what make a kid a kid. Not those kids that we have again, I call them chicken head. No, man. We have to make sure that kids understand that value. Because this is what Satan is doing right now. He's going after our children. Satan don't even care about you because you already got most of the adult anyway. Their brain already been shifted. They only sleep KFC. They only sleep all those nonsense things. But the kid, that's what Satan is all about. He want to grab our kid. Oh, do you remember? In America now you can't pray in school anymore. In Africa, many of those places. But anyway, sometimes I even know what God anyway the African child was praying to. They're praying to a God that's all the way in Europe, man. When you start rejecting your ancestor to accept a God coming from Europe, man, you know what? You're embracing something else. That's why, again, why all the food of Africa go to Europe? Why? Because they take everything to give to a white God over there in Europe. You understand what I'm saying? They don't even know how to plant their own macabo, their own potato. Because Europe told them, no, you should not plant that, you should plant coffee. The crop of the European. Come on, man. He says something. Agriculture. Come to our school and you learn that. Send your kid. We are not after you adult. We are after the kid. Come to learn about agribusiness of God. We talk about the real God. Not because anyway, I'm not going to get into this subject.
The God meaning is different, not this.
Permaculture. That's another term. I want permaculture. Those in America, Canada, Europe, they know what I'm talking about. Permaculture. That's the real stuff. We talk about pure organic. Anyway, that's another subject. Guys, our church has nothing to do with building. Our church is in a farm. Come over there and learn how to take care of yourself. Be somebody. Because Satan is coming after you big time. He wants to control the whole food in the whole world. That's what they do with Monsanto and all those big corporations. Guys, send your kid to our school here in Africa. That's the only place that's going to feed the universe is here in Africa. It has nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with ethnicity. None of that. It's all about love. If you feel that love in your heart, I'm talking about real love, guys. I'm not talking about selfish love. You know, agape love. Guys, make sure you send your kid to our school. That's the best school where your kid gonna grow as God wants him to be. Learn the culture, learn how to interact with humanity, with environment. Africa is the only place. Do you understand? I know you guys are down there in the USA listening to me right now, Canada, blah, 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 blah. I'm here. My son is here. My son is here in Africa with me. I took him from the school. Took him from school in Canada. And I said, no. Forget that stuff, man. They ain't teaching the kid the right way anymore. It's over. Africa is the only place. Send your kid here in Africa. He's going to become somebody who is not going to be controlled by this demonic society. Y'all know Babylon is falling, guys. Anyway, Bishop, tell them a bit more about what's going on here in Africa. I don't have all the data, but you have enough data to tell them how the land is in Africa, how the people behave in Africa. Let my Bishop tell them.
Which Babylon is falling? Before I go to the Bishop. Where is the Babylon?
You already know. The Roman Empire that they built in America or wherever, that's Babylon. The whole Babylon from Europe all the way.
It's falling.
They know it's falling. It's falling. They know it's already there. That's what they want to tell the whole world. Falling with them, man. They want to give us.
Africa is the place.
They all know, my brother. Africa is the place, bro. It is. We know that. Prophecy. They all know Africa is the place, bro.
Okay.
That's the only place where you can have real food.
And to expand a little bit, when you hear people talking about you need to come back to your culture. And I hope that we don't consider our culture just to be the beating of drums and the putting on of
Our traditional clothes.
and carrying some sticks around. Then you say, I'm a culture. That's my culture. I think we are shortchanging ourselves. When we talk about our culture, within a culture, your second big word for today is food security.
Food security.
Within a construction of an African village or a homestead, there are 2 to 3 most important things there. Number one is the kitchen. The kitchen. In every homestead, there must be a kitchen.
That's the most important.
Number two, and if the other houses can wait. Second one, ask which one?
Which one?
It is the barn, where we harvest and we store our food. Bedrooms are secondary. We can even sleep in the kitchen. It's even better there, it's warmer. So the 2 most important, so you could have a bedroom, a kitchen, and a barn. A barn becomes the food security. There's no homestead in Africa that will be standing there and there's no barn.
The granary.
Granary. Yes. Where after we've harvested,
we keep
our food there.
Food security.
And so food security.
That culture has died.
I'm coming to you when you are staying in your house in town. Do you have a granary?
No.
If right now there is tsunami, if right now there is COVID like we did,
You have food.
are you aware that Babylon will kill all of us? Because the thinking of Babylon does not have the culture of food. The food is in the shops. And every month and every week,
You have to go to the shop.
in some certain cases every day, you must go via there. So what happens when they did in COVID, when they closed the shops? What happened? So the culture of food, the culture
Food
of barns and granaries where food is kept must be a culture, even in your white homes here in your cities where you are staying. I would still recommend that you need to build a barn. In America now they're doing it. Confirm if I'm wrong. They're building bunkers.
For food.
No, for security, bunkers. So that in case there's a nuclear war or something else, they would go underneath the bunkers and they can live there for 3 months. Some, those with money, even 1 year. Some say even 3 years. They can afford to live underground there because they are stocking food. In case anything. In America.
They are preparing for war.
You can tell us.
Why are they?
Go study agribusiness there, you know.
Why are they preparing for war when they know they?
There has been a program for a long time within the U.S. government. The food security is one of the biggest projects in agribusiness that Africa, that's what I try to remind African leaders. Do you have that food security. Do you know that if there's a war in America, whatever, earthquake, let's not even say war, earthquake, something, a disaster, there's enough food for 25 years. Do you know that? Yeah, 25 years.
In America?
Yes, that the people of America can live. 25 years. Yeah, 25.
Here we can't live past one rain season. If it does not rain in one season, we die. We're already pronouncing a disaster. But my grandmother, I come back to my grandmother again, may her soul rest in peace. Then she would dig on the ground, a big hole, then take the pumpkins, the sweet potatoes, and the round nuts, the ground nuts, and some other shrubs of trees that she would put in there, and stock up, and then put this big thing on top, and then cover the ground again, you know? And then we would eat, and we would always not eat the food of this year. So so what she would do is that the fresh one that is coming in sits in.
Then you remove.
And it's
first in, first out.
It is the same volume with what is coming in for next year.
Yeah.
So that even if we don't harvest, there is enough stock. So we'd work on that cycle. And then in another season,
first in, first out.
6-8 months later, we've forgotten about nuts and everything. She would tell us, now go and dig up that place. We dig it up, we open, and it's shocking. Some of the plants underground there, you still find them fresh. No fridge, no preservation, just some shrubs and leaves that make sure that they are not eaten by these ants and whatever. And this is a science that all these concrete houses that we say we are living in civilization, this drinking sewage water that has been recycled and is coming through our taps with a small little pantry that has 2 bags of rice and 1 small little packet of beans. You are measuring in poverty. Let's go back to, if you don't want to leave town, make agriculture part of your construction to make sure that within your house you have a food granary. Have a home in the bush, in the rural areas, harvest from there, stock up your food in your granary, and start learning how to become sustainable as far as your stomach is concerned.
That is Pan-Africanism.
Pan-African. And guess what? It's not new. Even the way I told you America been doing this, preserving the food, Holland is doing that, you know, England. You know where they got that knowledge? Actually, they got it from Africa. He just mentioned that his grandma went. Go back again in the Bible. Everything is in the Bible, my brother. They took it from Africa. I don't know if y'all knowing that the whole Bible, they took it from Africa. Joseph in Egypt. When we talk about agribusiness, let's even go back. Hey guys, who are listening, I want you to study agribusiness. Because ask yourself why there's no agribusiness school across Africa. You guys have school of agriculture. I've been in 23 countries doing research. There's a lot of school of agriculture, but there's no school of agribusiness. Why? Why the European build school of agriculture for you guys, but they didn't build a school of agribusiness? You know why? Because when we're talking about agribusiness, we're talking about food security. We're talking now about how to make money from agriculture. We're talking about value chain. We're talking about transformation. We're talking about marketing, all that stuff. Why they didn't want to build again the school of agribusiness, but they taught the Africa, hey guys, do agriculture. You're going to plant that coffee, you're going to plant that cocoa. What do you do with that coffee and cocoa after planting? When you harvest? The European come and tell you that I'm buying it at this price. Yeah. I saw a lot of farmers across Africa. You understand? They set up the price, everything. Why? Exactly. Who sets the price? Because you can transform that. You don't even know what to do with it. They take it and then you hear, oh, I brought some chocolate anyway down there. And they say Holland and Belgium are the #1 producer of cocoa. Why they don't even have a single farm of cocoa? Because they make all the chocolate of the world coming from Africa. They teach you how to plant, but they don't teach you the rest of the value chain. They take the chain out of your feet and they put the chain in your mind. And you ask yourself, you say you're free. You ain't free. You ain't free. Because you don't understand the system. They make you now work at your free will. You think you're free, but you still work for them. This whole educational set in Africa, I call it a slave education. I say, that's why when you even have a PhD, a doctor, I say, oh, you're an intellectual slave. Because what can you do with your diploma if they don't give you a job? I call it intellectual slavery. Because you can't do shit. I see PhD, they can't even fix a tire of a bicycle. And you have a PhD or what? You can solve nothing. Your grandma is there. Her roof, she got a roofing problem. Those, those organic roof made out of, chaff and so forth. You there staying with your grandma. You have a PhD. You can't even fix the roof. And you have a PhD. She spent money to send you to school. To European school. You come back and stay home. Why? Because the European guy don't give you a job. And you have a PhD. You wasted 27 years of your life. And you can't even help your grandma. And she got to feed you again, that same grandma. Come on now. And let me finish up on this agribusiness stuff. This is the problem. That's why we introduced the Pan-Africanism agribusiness. Understand well, it's not agriculture, it's agribusiness. Where I come now, we come and teach you to make your own chocolate. We bring machinery. Then you take your own cocoa, you don't sell it back to the European anymore. You turn it into chocolate, and you say to the European, hey man, my chocolate costs you, don't like, go ahead. You understand what I'm saying? You say to a Chinese, hey, do you understand what I'm saying? Yes, we do the same with corn, with everything. We start training people on the value chain, the commodity exchange, when they understand what the dumping is. Because this has been the strength of America. The strength of America is not a nuclear weapon, man. It's food. Okay. We come back to food security. Actually, it's not new. It came back from Joseph. The whole agribusiness that we have in America, Holland, was copied out of the Bible. When you talk about saving the food, all that stuff, read the book of Joseph. What did you?
I'm gonna read now. Thank you so much. Let me end up with Bishop Maponga closing remarks on that very one or something.
The agribusiness is a solution to our African governments as far as jobs are concerned, as far as entrepreneurship, innovation, and creating new products onto the market. Again, I go back to my village where we wake up in the morning. Some go herding cattle. Some go to the mill to pound the mealies. Some go to the deep tank. Some go to the bush to cut grass, to come and thatch the roofs. Some are in the mines looking for iron ore to come and make the hose. Some are in the garden. Some, and there's no one in the house that remains except maybe one or two people that are cooking, would eat 1 meal a day. I'm talking about my experience. So we are out of the house by 3, 4, 5 in the morning. People are disappearing. If everyone in the family is working. Then around past 2, 3, 4 in the afternoon, you begin seeing people coming back. Those from the fields are coming back. Those from the forests are coming back. This one is bringing honey from the forest. This one is bringing meal. This one is bringing firewood. This one is bringing grass. And we're all coming back home. So the concept of unemployment is actually a Western construct. Yes. And agribusiness will be able to start reintroducing every African child. Exactly. You don't have to sit around Kampala saying, I am unemployed. Exactly. If you were at the farm right now, instead of dancing like we're seeing those boys dancing on the street, you will be in the garden planting some bananas. Exactly. And doing something with your hands. If you're not planting, you should be somewhere fixing something. Exactly. Doing something. So unemployment is an illusion. Because until we understand that the solutions, hear the conclusion, the solutions of our present problems, some of them are found in the history of our culture. And if we can restore agriculture,
the culture of agriculture,
we will be able to reduce our unemployment rate. And the beautiful part about that is that all those that are eating must not just be eating. They must work first. Then they eat.
Thank you. Well, I know, seated between two great men in Pan-Africanism, very great brains here, we cannot finish this debate. The girls dancing that we are referring to in this interview are extracted from the fact that when we were moving on Kampala Road just this morning, we met some very young girls and boys dancing on the streets of Kampala, trying to create TikTok. content. And so when they looked at them, they said, now, you see, the same age of these, the same age and energy of these young girls, their contemporaries in America are now in a laboratory. They are now in the theater. They are in AI, artificial intelligence. They are creating something in China. But the same age mates in Africa, in Uganda, we found them dancing on the street, twerking. You call it? Twerking.
Yeah, shaking bums.
Yeah. So they were asking now, how do you begin even to compete? How do you because this energy, this youthful energy in America and China, Japan, Germany, UK is being put to rightful use. What are we doing in Uganda? The young people, early morning on Sunday, we found them on the streets twerking with Bishop Maponga here and the Comrade Waka. We saw them ourselves, and they were wondering, they were asking now, we are talking about competing, we are talking about doing this, but with our energies being wasted like this, how are we going to do this?
One more thing, brother, I'm not blaming them. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I look at the holistic approach in society. I don't blame those young kids because I'm a professor. The system, let's look at the whole system. How do we attract those kids into agribusiness? How do we make it exciting for them? Do we have policy for those kids to come and be interested? I challenge you guys who are listening. I'm Dr. Waka. We at the Pan-African Agribusiness, we have funding, we have money. Do a nice TikTok in a farm. Come to our farm. We're going to have a nice place here in Uganda. You do a nice TikTok, I'll give a prize. You are willing, you can win $1,000 for a nice TikTok video in our team. That's how we need to start stimulating those kids. You don't do that. You don't have no policy, no program for them. And you complain about them going on the street because it's us, the brother, the older brother. We need to address that. We need to create program for them to make it exciting. Yes, the Chinese kids are there in the lab doing those things. Why? Because somebody organized that. I don't want to keep blaming the young people in Africa. Did my problem? I blame the church. I'm sorry, I blame the church because the church organizes always dancing stuff. We're dancing for hallelujah. But why not organizing real competition so that those kids can produce food? And this is what we do at the Pan-Africanism agribusiness of all across Africa. We want to start organizing competition. We're talking about production. Where kids come, we give him machinery. We see the one who's going to produce the best food. We give them plot of land. Each going to have their own plot of land. We give them equipment. You want to do a next TikTok and win $1,000? We have that ready for you. Come to our contest. Give them a site where they can go and start registering. We're going to start making agribusiness content contests. Instead of blaming them, we're going to provide tools for them to come and learn. This is how we evolve.
Thank you so much, my senior comrades. 2 comrades here. Amidst them, it's always a pleasure. This is a well of knowledge where you go and drink. And I say, please, it's enough for now. Let me come back tomorrow. Otherwise, if I drink all of it, I may end up dying from here because of too much knowledge being pumped in my head. My name is Andrew Irumba Katsabe, your speaker. This is the Pan-African Pyramid, the People's Parliament. We have sat here right now at Satellite Hotel in Kampala. I am having my guests here have some good time, and then we can see what to do next now from here. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Free your mind now. Be part of People's Pan-African Parliament, the Pan-African Pyramid Debate with your speaker, Andrew Irumba Katusabe.